the first things I need from you is to share your screen. And make sure you share the application so I can have audio. And then we'll get talking about where it is you want to focus. So I've noticed you said you want to learn Crit Hyejin. So I'm going to lead with a disclaimer. I don't play Crit Hyejin, nor have I have much experience with it. But I'll help how I can.
Okay, cool. Wait, what was your other question?
Well, I have more questions than time, but
okay.
I'm pretty much just saying, like, I can't help you, like, specifically with, like, oh, when you're playing Crit Hyejin, you need, like, this specific mechanics, you need to watch out for these matchups. I can't help you with that, but I can help you with your routing, and making sure that, like, you're not doing anything specifically wrong, right?
Yeah.
So first, it looks like you've been playing for a while. Let's go ahead and pull up the build that you have, or do you not have one?
I do have one. It's yeah, it's this.
Okay, nice. Quick little 3-zone.
Yeah, and then I'm missing a medallion that you just pick one of the 3 places medallions.
Yeah, but that's tiara, in my opinion, isn't super important. It's normally like the first piece you can replace if you can, you know. So I think this build's perfect. What are some areas you think that you lack in that you would like me to try to focus on?
I feel like I don't use my time well. Like, I don't know, there's just times where I'm just like running around, like, what am I doing, you know?
Right, okay.
And then there's, like, I'll finish my build, and then I'll kill some animals, and there's, like, this time where, like, all the animals on the map are pretty much dead.
Right, and not knowing really where to go next or what to do from there. I think a lot of people run into that. It's kind of common. How does your food and stamina feel? Do you often feel like you're falling behind on food and you have to like take breaks to specifically focus on food, or do you feel like you're doing fine?
I feel like I'm doing okay. Like I make mocha bread because
it's really easy with this route.
Yeah, and then I don't really make anything else from there. I just like try to rely on like boxes or like killing people to get their food instead.
I think that's okay. Like, I wouldn't say that you have to make anything other than mocha bread, because whenever I run a route, I'll normally only do one thing of food. So, like, on my Magnus build I'm running, I'll do Zen Vitality, or I'll do hamburgers, and I really will ignore anything else I see. I think that's perfectly fine. Oh, there's my timer. 1 sec. Okay, I got it to stop. So I think that's fine. Stamina, there's not really a lot you can do with this route unless you're doing like iced coffee, which is possible going from docks. Or I guess you can make Americanos, I think. So, but on Hyejin, it shouldn't be terrible.
Yeah, honestly, I just make boiled water, and then from there I can make other stuff, but
yeah,
I actually don't even like need SP drinks on Hyejin.
Yeah, she's very minimal on that, which I will say seems frustrating. To me, mages should need SP more than anyone else, but in this game, it seems to be the other way around.
Yeah, so that's that.
Yeah, so if you want, we can go ahead and start queuing. You can queue ranked if you want, but if ranked goes over 5 minutes, I ask that we do go to normals.
Okay.
But ranked is popping at the moment, so it's like if you are comfortable playing ranked and you want to, we could get a game within 3 minutes.
All right, let's see if rank pops. I'll give it like 3 minutes.
So
I think it'd be better practice that way.
Yeah, no, it definitely can be. I need to throw up display capture. And then while we're waiting, I can like throw my food in the oven. You know, I have options. So Crit Hyejin, the biggest things, I guess, I have played a little bit of auto attack Hyejin before, and it feels like you really don't do a bunch of damage, so you need to make sure you're focusing on kiting more than anything, which sucks because it's like you can't really go in like normal Hyejin can. You lose those 100-0 burst combos, but you have better sustained damage, which can be nice.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also like not sure what I should build transition into. Like I didn't just build Fail Not and Emerald Tablet because that's what I don't know. I feel like I should build.
I don't know about in tablet. Fail Not for sure. Or how dead set are you on crit? So I'm not saying to not do this build, but I'm saying how okay with you are transitioning away from crit towards the late game.
Like into like an amp build?
Not towards amp, but like for instance, you could make auto arms instead, and then if let's say you get mithril, you could do mithril headpiece, and you can transition to a more just normal auto attack build, because I feel like crit is still good, but I feel like if we could transition most of our gear towards just raw damage, it would still be fine. Because that AP is going to be reflected in your spells as well.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I agree with that.
So, like, you could do auto arms with mithril headpiece, and then you could keep Bucephalus with the chest piece you have, but you could also do, like, red shoes, which we're asking for a lot at that point, right? 2 red, 2 bloods, because I think Fail Not is fine for this, for sure. I just don't know about M Tablet. Like, the CDR is nice, and it is good on you, but I'd have to see how your attack speed feels towards the late game.
Okay, I see.
Because you're not really building a lot of attack speed, especially if you're just swapping away from the Zephyr bow.
Yeah, I usually only build it if I can get a radar off someone.
Okay,
to make
that
up
makes
for, like,
sense.
the loss in attack speed.
Yeah, we are. Hey guys, it's me, MOTFGAMES. I'm just here to remind y'all that if you're enjoying the content, drop a like and hit the subscribe button down below. Maybe leave us a comment knowing what kind of content you'd like to see going forward into the future. My editor does a really good job on these videos and works really hard, and any little bit of insight you can give us on what you'd like to see more is really helpful. Enjoy the video. We're losing crit damage though at that point, so it's like there is a trade-off, but I agree that it could be worth it for sure. Really good looting speed. Thanks. 20 ping, I wish.
I usually make.
I would just drink them.
Like mocha bread now.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you just drop them for mocha bread. I understand. Never mind. Yeah. I thought you were going to drop the water and leave it. This is better. And yeah, I don't think you need to rush to make mocha bread. It's very unlikely you're going to get griefed at chapel. He's not gonna grief you, is he? Okay.
Kind of wish he would.
Yeah? Were they supposed to make mask there? They did make mask.
Oh, I'm not supposed to
yeah,
make
you
mask.
made mask. He has a very good point. You need a second quiver.
No.
I think it's recoverable though.
Oops. Uh-oh. I'm missing rubber.
That's for chest piece. That's kind of a big deal, actually.
I usually just go, well, if I didn't mess up
the problem is you also, I was gonna say you also need
another
the feather now. I feel like the at this point, the feather is a little more important than the hairband. But upgrading quiver to lace quiver isn't a big deal. Very good RNG there. I think I can kind of agree that the rubber is definitely the most important. We also missed a short rod.
Yeah, I guess I should go temple first. I don't know.
I think staying dock a little bit longer would have been fine.
Oh my god. Yes, go after him. Good.
Okay, that's good.
Should I go somewhere else to loot? This thing's looted.
I don't know, it's hard to say, to be honest, because it's like... You could walk towards pond.
Oh, I don't have the hairpin.
Right, which is why I'm saying, like, we can walk towards pond and loot these. These are often not looted.
Oh.
Yeah, this one in the corner might have it, though. Yep.
Oh.
Okay.
Think I should walk to pond and loot that, or just go up towards alley?
I would walk to pond and loot the 2 boxes on the way to hospital. Because even if we're just trying to get to alley, it's faster to TP from hospital.
It's
Looks
like
like
a short run.
Yeah, it's very unlikely we get it, but it's like, you might as well check, right? Because you can find something like that. You can also kill the bears and maybe get lucky on getting a feather duster, yeah. Just keep in mind your SP, so we don't want to commit too many abilities to this. Unlucky. Okay. But it's fine either way.
So I should go to alley and then...
I think
Whether
Docs is
it's
still the
after
better. You should pick up that ice.
Oh, okay, yeah. You're right. I still need a feather? Holy shit.
Yeah.
I feel like I should hit the console.
What are you doing with that herb? Are you going to make Oriental, or...?
I don't know.
Okay, because I was
Is
going
this
to
for
say,
fun?
you can pick up these extra bottles and hold on to that if you want then, and you can make potions from it later.
Oh, yeah, you're
It's
right.
not a big deal, though. Kind of in poverty at the moment. Don't forget to check the bear's body on your way out if it's still up, because again, it can drop feather duster. At least I'm pretty sure it can. Wolves can. Maybe bears don't. Maybe I'm capping on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll check it anyways.
Yeah, because they could at least have fried oil, which is nice.
Oh, is it gone? Oh, it's in here, right? No. Hey, you're right. I tried oil.
I like that you
Just
crafted
missing
the
it.
magazine but didn't equip it. You know, it's just good crafting mastery. Some people won't think about that, though. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm never sure if that's like worth the time. Like, especially in
Um,
this situation where I don't.
I feel like
have
it can
much.
be, because it's like, we're talking seconds, especially if you do it while you're walking. Keep in mind the parry. Yeah, they did it reactively anyways.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, you pretty much just need to walk at this point. You're dead. I'm sorry.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, once you got that last parry, you're pretty much dead. So it's in that situation, I think you just have to like keep walking, wait to see if he parries, and then once he does, then you can make BQ. But
I
was a
didn't
nice
know
try.
Nikki was that strong.
Nikki does a lot of damage, and people are starting to find builds that actually do pretty solidly on her. Like this one, it's got a lot of CDR, it's got a lot of HP, so she's able to not get bursted down so easily.
I see. I feel like, I don't know, from what I've heard, people said Nikki wasn't very good.
She's frail. That's her only issue right now. So like she's prone to getting one shot. And sometimes she can't survive long enough to do her damage. But this build has a lot of HP in it, and it's CDR capped. So she's actually able to get a rotation off very easily, but she lives and dies by landing parry. But what I mean by that, do you know how the parry system works for her?
No, not really. I never
So,
played her. Well, I played her a
when
little
she
bit, but-
uses parry, her W, you'll see that little circle around her. If she parries an ability, she instantly goes into rage. That's the big payoff. And it reduces the cooldown by like 80%.
So I just have to like not hit her?
Yeah, when she parries. It's a 1 second window, so it's like in that situation you threw Q and she just parried it on reaction. You can't do anything about that, right? You
Yeah.
have to basically bait them into parrying, and then once they miss parry, it's almost free. She still has CC,
Oh, I
so it's
see.
not instantly free, but like you can get some solid stuff out of that. All right, let's Q again.
Okay.
That wasn't bad. The route's pretty good. You're really fast about it. You have good decisions. Your food seems fine. Your stamina seems fine. We got bad RNG on that one. I think there was definitely like some slight mechanical mistakes against the Alex fight. Like you put your W way too far in instead of on top of him. But everyone makes mistakes like that. Fuck, I was playing against Foster a second ago and I couldn't eat him for the life of me for some reason. On Magnus, like I literally just couldn't fucking click the guy, I guess. So it happens.
What about like checking players like items?
Builds?
I don't kind of really check mastery for the most part.
Okay, so the best thing I can say for that is when you notice someone, hit tab and just look at what they have.
Yeah, I feel like hitting tab, like it just takes up my entire screen.
It does, but you only need a quick glance. You don't need to look at it the entire time, so just hit tab to get a quick glance, because you should be able to recognize the items and then ideally get an idea of like what their build is. So if you hit tab and look at their build and you notice they don't have boots, you don't really need to think anymore after that, right? You're pretty much already know, like, okay, you don't have boots, you can't run for me.
Okay. I just probably have to get used to that, because it's just like so much easier just pressing Alt and just seeing like a number.
Yeah, but that's just a number, and but how big of a difference does mastery actually make? In my opinion, very little. The only big thing is the threshold of 7, right? If your opponent has level 7 and you don't, they have an entire ability on you. Okay. And that matters, but if they're 9 and you're 7, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Because in most cases, the fight's going to be determined by the matchup or pilot gap rather than anything else.
All right. And in the situation where I crafted the box, wait, what's it called? Magazine, just for like the mastery, would you have done the same even though like I wasn't full build? Like how
it was already there. You might as well pick it up. It only takes a few seconds. I never go out of your way for it. But you opened it, you have a sheet metal you're not using, there's a box already there. Fuck it. Pick it up. Why not?
Okay. Because I like tend to like keep like iron sheets just for that.
I think that's fine. Most of the time what I'll do is make sheets from wolves, but that's because they drop them and then I'm like, okay, fuck it, I have time. And sometimes that's not worth it, right? If we had killed a set of wolves and you stopped to do that for a second, I probably would have said something, but we're already in the area we wanted to be, right? We're searching in these boxes anyways. I don't mind it.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing is you have to ask yourself, is there anything more important that's time sensitive, you know?
Okay.
What were you gonna ask?
I was gonna say, like, the building sheath and building a magazine, is that the same amount of experience?
Yeah, it's the same exact amount. I'm going to throw my food in the oven. I'll be right back.
All right.
Okay. All right, I'm back.
Uh-oh. Looks like might have to queue normals.
Maybe. We'll see. I will say, though, I understand that, like, you're on the same par level as, like, the rest of us up in Hyla, right? Where it's like, if you queue normals, there's a very high chance you just pub stomp it. And it can be hard to learn from that. So it's like, I do understand, but which is why I kind of give this period where I'm like, yeah, we'll queue ranked, and then if it pops, then we get to, because we had a pop last time, you know?
Yeah, I agree. It's like maybe not even a 50-50, but like there's a chance that you get like a completely new player in your game. It's like not fair to them.
Yeah. I use normals a lot of the time to just test. I've just been on a big theory crafting grind because I just don't find climbing in ranked as enjoyable anymore. You know?
Yeah, it's like my first time trying to climb ranks, so
you're doing pretty well. I mean, based on what I've seen, you should be around like top 100, right?
I'm like plat 1, which isn't top 100 yet. It's like 150 or something.
Oh, is the cutoff? Okay, the cutoff's in Titan now. Or I guess Diamond, sorry.
Yeah.
I forget Diamond's rank half the time. But yeah, to give some perspective, which this may make you feel like, oh, why am I listening to this guy? I'm only Plat 3 at the moment. But I've only been playing ranked for like 2 weeks, I think. I'm cutting myself short. A few weeks. I play a lot of normals. I play very little ranked at the moment.
But I'm a really good player, though.
Yeah, I've been ranked top 100, and I do say that it's like, I feel like I could consistently get up there, you know, because we are playing these games with high-ranked people, and I am able to hold my own, you know. Last game, I killed Proster after he had his items from Wick. The game before, I killed Absolute Terror. Was it? Yeah, I killed Terror at that game. So it's like, I can hold my own. Yeah?
Do you want me to queue normals?
Yeah, let's go ahead and swap.
Yeah, let's take a while.
It's just... I definitely crutch myself with my character choice and my build decisions. I do not like to conform to what's good. I like to conform to what I like. So, like, at the moment, I'm playing Tank Magnus, but I am not playing the same build as everyone else. I'm playing Weight of the World.
I don't know what that is.
It's another sudden impact weapon for Hammer. It has CDR and skill amp attached to it. So I'm basically just playing like CDR Tank Magnus, and then I'm using the sudden impact damage as basically like a quick little burst attack. And I just cycle through my CC, like I'll Q you, I'll E, kite a little bit. Most of my playstyle is almost entirely just baiting people into death, making them think they can kill me, but I'm walking into like a choke point where they can't keep me from stunning them.
I see. Real quick, should I start a hospital so there's more people here?
I think it worked fine last time. So yeah. Cemetery is nowhere near as bad as it used to be when there were a bunch of Kiaras and Hyunwoo starting there. So I think it's a lot safer to just go for the hotel start, or the hospital start. It's faster to do Cemetery in a perfect world, but there's such a larger chance of you to like leave Sim and walk into hospital and miss everything.
Yeah. Where did you say like Crit Hyejin would be in like the tier list?
I don't think I could accurately rank Crit Hyejin, to be honest. I think Hyejin is A, if not S. High A is normally where I keep her in personal regards right now, because I feel like the character does have good snowball potential. She can get kills and do pretty well. Crit Hyejin might be C, which is like the cusp of viability in my opinion. It has flaws, mostly being that it's a DPS it's a DPS on a character with low survivability, you know? But that's not to say you shouldn't play it. If you enjoy it, then we can make it work. I played full tank Hyunwoo for God knows how long last season, and I found success with that.
I gotta make sure I don't make a mask by accident again.
On the other hand, you could pick up an extra tiara and an extra feather and do it on purpose for the movement speed.
Oh.
Ooh.
I just wanna... I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you're
bleed.
Yeah, it's super oppressive. Hit tab and make sure she's not crafting her weapon. She's not, you're fine. That was fine. All you had to do was click on her like that, too. If she Qs you, you can just fucking run her down at this point. Fuck that bitch. Dog for leather or no?
I guess I should.
Yeah, it's right here. We might as well.
I have a turtle shell.
Yeah, and you'll also need another one for the next quiver, right?
Yeah.
We didn't pick up bamboo for that, though. Not a big deal. That's easy to replace.
You have to target the quiver again, because
it'll auto go to mask, yeah. I was paying attention to make sure you didn't accidentally make it again. I know you are too, but a set of bottles or anything would be nice. Yeah,
I
poor
feel
guy.
bad for this guy. He can go.
Yeah. Missing that scrap kind of sucks because you needed that. Scrap and bamboo cannot be found in the same locations, so I think finding the scrap is more important than the bamboo. Do you agree?
The scrap?
Oh shit, you don't need scrap. Never mind. I don't know why I remembered we missed a scrap out of hospital. What's it for?
Yeah, then I just got it back in dock.
Sorry then, my bad. I'm blanked out, I guess. I don't know why I was thinking we still needed scrap to finish boots when all we need is to make kill heals. You're basically done at this point. So where do you like to go when you finish your build?
I feel like it's different every time.
Maybe that's
Really have,
something
like,
we
a
could
designated
normalize.
place. Yeah, probably should. Is there somewhere I should go to?
I like to prioritize locations where I know people are going to be, or with a bunch of wolves or bears. So it's preference, to be honest. Like, there is never going to be a correct answer for this, but having like a set game plan can be nice. So like coming to temple is fine. You can kill this bat. You can kill the bears. I don't know if it's worth it to go kill the right bear, but if you do kill the right bear, you can come down and kill the boar that's on the bridge, and the boars are good EXP.
Okay. How much experience do they give?
It's based on HP. I can't give you an exact amount, but mastery gain is based on damage dealt, and then a flat amount on kill.
Okay.
So boars have the second highest HP out of animals, next to bears, obviously. So it's like they can be a good mastery soak. You'll never like go out of your way to focus them, but they're kind of nice. And then of course, this is only really worth it if we're coming back to kill them next time. Which, you know the timer for that?
It's 5 minutes, right?
Yeah. So we killed it around 4:30, so you can come back around 9:30 if you want to get this.
I usually like, go up here to see if this bear is here.
Sure.
But then from that point, I just hit the console and I'm like kind of lost. And if this is killed, then I'm extra lost. Should I be like looting this?
I would say only for garlic, so we can get a little bit more food, but it's not a big deal. Nice. Okay. I was wondering if this is what you did with weapon skill. I couldn't notice. Perfect.
Oh, I didn't see where everyone else
Easy
was.
S and auto is A as well. Well, Jessica says he feels like auto attack Hyejin is A tier, and Jessica plays it more than I do, so I would trust their opinion over mine.
I feel like it's good, but I don't see like anyone else playing it. Just like while I was concerned.
Jessica is Project Melody in game, just as a frame of reference of who we're talking about.
I don't know many people, to be honest.
I gotcha.
Okay,
and that's kind of the reason why I rank it so low, is because I already have a self-perceived notion that it's not that good, right? And I don't see it often enough to disprove that. So okay. Yeah.
See, like, I feel bad for this person. I don't even have to press my abilities because they're just like, they don't have a build.
I think a lot of it was, they don't have their build, but a lot of it I think was they were expecting abilities from you, and it's not where your damage comes from, so it doesn't matter. Check this build crate. Takes a few seconds, could have RNG, probably has food, like this. Where do you want to go now? You have 7 minutes.
I guess I can check like hospital wolves, maybe respawning.
Yes. I 100% agree with that. That's pretty much what I was thinking.
But since this is norms, they probably weren't even taken in the first place.
Possibly not, but it looks like we just missed respawn. The Jackie may have gotten something off of them, and I feel like she is a more likely kill target.
Like, this guy doesn't have his build, so it's like kind of sad.
I mean, hey, he was the one who came here and decided to try to fight, you know?
That is true. If he ran away, I might have let him live. Look, he's both respawning. So like the thing is that like when the bears respawn, that's like when Wick comes up. Should I prioritize Wick or?
Yes. Unless you're not in a position where you think you could actually kill Wick. So what do you do with Myth?
Maybe just make Myth armor?
Myth armor can be very good. I think I would choose Myth armor over Myth helm because I don't value Tiara that much. It's just raw crit chance with some stats. Myth armor is more of a tech piece. Yeah. So Mithril helm is defense, CDR, attack speed, and movement speed. And I feel like you will get a lot more use out of the CDR and the movement speed than anything else.
Okay, have a good day, sir.
I think we could have secured that by prioritizing the fear at the end instead of like another auto or two. But it's not a big deal. You win the fight regardless. I understand. We win the fight regardless, you gain mastery for it. I wouldn't feel bad about it.
This guy looks like he's having a
He's basically dead at this point. Nice. Good thought. Just take his food. So at this point, yeah, we gotta wait. Because you want to set up early.
So I would take Wick over getting this Mithril helm?
I would say so, unless you feel like you're not like in a good spot. Good response. You've pretty much killed her. Yeah, I would absolutely at this point. You have a mastery lead, you're the strongest person in the lobby, people have to respect you. Regardless. Ball and Bino, how's it going, man?
How do you feel about this Wick timer being on this task score screen instead of the map?
I'm fine. It was always there on the map regardless, just they moved the location.
I'm so used to like pressing M and seeing it like at the bottom.
Yeah, me too, but I open tab so much that it's like, it's not a big deal for me. And I know exactly when it spawns, and I've always gone off the timer rather than the map thing.
Oh, I see.
So it really didn't affect me too much. No, what you're doing is fine.
Holy shit.
You're okay. Oh, you're great. You got him.
Oh my god.
So close, but we could just kill Wick instead. Combine your cameras. You have 3 and 1.
Oh, you're right. Is this you?
Nah. He's on the shitter build.
Would you prioritize like using Wick buff to kill people or craft?
You want to make sure you do a bit of both. You have a lot of zones closing, so you want to make sure that you're actually going to get your upgrades. What do you want to upgrade? Do you want to do Fail Not, or do you want to do the other bow?
I like Fail Not, because like it's more true to like, I guess, the style I'm going for.
The other bow does have a lot of AP though. I don't know how much of an AP upgrade it is from Zephyr, but I'm just saying it can be an option. But yeah, Fail Not's fine. You could do Fail Not, and then you could replace Tiara with Imperial Halo, which I know a lot of people meme and say Imperial Halo's bad, but if your fights are going to be long anyways, it does look like you do a good bit of poking before you take the engage. I think it can be a fine upgrade.
So should I just drop this Mithril? If I'm making Imperial Halo?
Maybe not, to be honest, because it's like you do bring up a good point that Mithril Helm could be better than having Imperial Halo. I can't particularly tell you which one I think is best in slot because it comes down to theory at this point. Certain items will be better in certain combinations than others. You already have a lot of attack speed, so the extra attack speed from Mithril could be wasted, but the movement speed and CDR could come into play in some fights. The other option, even though it's not a great item for you, is that you could make Gunbai. You don't get the slow from the passive, but you do get the bonus movement speed and that large, like, initial hit, as well as healing reduction, right?
What item?
The new blood accessory, Gunbai.
Oh, I don't even know what it does.
I think it could be good for you, but that's something that you'll have to figure out, like, on the side. You can do, like, DPS checks, and just check stat allocations in practice mode after this to figure out which ones you think are best. So for now, how about, so we're just gonna decide to do weapon.
The fail not. Yeah, well, I already have it.
So we're going to do fail not, and then Imperial Halo is what you've decided on?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's perfectly fine, so we'll want to walk into some...
I swallowed a little mithril.
Yeah, it happens. So the mithril, you can do mithril wire. I think the traps could be helpful for you. Or myth water, yeah, so he brings up a good point because it is defense for a fight, so it is possible, you know?
Alright, mithril water sounds pretty good. I've been looting, I don't even remember what I was looking for. Trying to get the hairband right.
Yeah. I like that you checked the bat. Even if you opened it just for the camera, it can drop hairband, so it's like maximize your chance to be lucky, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes I don't have it targeted, I just like glaze over it.
Yeah. Check map. Okay, temple will be open regardless, so even if we miss here, it's fine. And then I want you to check. Nah, never mind. I thought it was a blue crate. Oh, that's perfect. It's right there.
You just give her my cameras?
Yeah, you've got a fuck ton. I think camera stacks are being raised to 10 next patch anyways, so it's not a big deal.
I feel like she go to hospital, there's like a higher chance that the wolves are up than the bears.
At this point, I would be worried based on where people are going, right? You don't want to TP on top of people, and there's a legendary crate here and a legendary crate at temple, right? So I think if we're talking about safest option, it's definitely TPing to pond. But for your case, you're asking which way to go for the most reliable stuff. And that's a crapshoot. It could be any of them, because right now we're seeing like everything's dead, you know?
So I guess at this point I shouldn't worry about hunting anymore, or
you can, but we definitely want to focus on prioritizing kills rather than people, or rather than animals, because your wick line's going to run out soon. That's the biggest advantage you have.
Yeah.
So we want to chase noise. So like in a hospital,
here.
Right? Try to whittle this lobby down as much as we can. So we've already got vision. Perfect. We know where he is. It's just a question of who is it. Okay, there's Yuki down below. There he is. Oof.
Ow, this guy hurts so much.
Yeah, he does. Be careful walking up because he can one rotation you at this point. You just need to make sure you avoid the knock up. His ult is down, so it's not like a big deal. Just make sure that you're not... Just make sure to not get knocked up, that's all. You got this, man.
Oh god. I come in peace.
Oof, that hit? You're dead. I'm sorry. Oh, maybe not? Magnus is a bitch? Oof. Magnus biked? That was weird. I would prioritize checking the Leon's body now. Okay, good shit. Good shit. Nice. This should be a cleanup game at this point. Nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you missed the W, but it's fine. So that was actually really well done. I do have some things I think we can talk about really fast about that. So before we move on from the screen, I want you to look at this top 4 with you. Because if we look at the top 5, we can both just immediately say that the most threatening person in this lobby is the Leon, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at top 4, before you see this, who did you think was your biggest threat? Do you remember
Yuki?
in game? So the Yuki does have a lot of burst, and he is definitely a pretty solid threat. I think personally it's the Aya, because if she plays correctly, she technically has a higher damage output.
Okay.
And whether you fight the Yuki or the Aya and look for the kill there, I think it's fine either way. You pick one of them, that's the important thing. I think they're both kind of equal, just I'm slightly favored towards the Aya because she has Kabana, she has Scotty, right? More upgrades. But in that last little bit where the Magnus stunned the Aya, I think focusing the Magnus was a mistake.
Oh, okay.
He's
Yeah,
basically
I
a
was
free
like-
kill, you know? Like, if it's
Yeah.
just you versus him, he will never beat you.
I
So,
see.
yeah.
I was just trying to like get them both low and like kind of kill them both at the same time. But then like the Magnus kind of just took a bunch of damage from Aya, and I was like, okay, this is a free kill. But yeah, I agree. I should have just like killed the Aya.
Yeah, because
And
she
see
already
what
was
we
stunned at that point, but instead of attacking the Aya who stunned, you focus the Magnus. And I understand it, but it's like, I do think that focusing the Aya down was the correct decision, because even if he gets the Aya kill, you will still kill him at the end of the game, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So we can guarantee that first place where the Aya, she could outplay us for all we know, right? You did both end up low, and I feel like maybe if she had committed, like, let's say she fucking ults and just does a quick ult auto Q, like maybe she could have taken it. It's risky either way, and it's bullshit regardless, right? If I died to the Aya in that situation, I'd be mad, but it's like she could in some universe kill us. The Magnus never does, so I think a little bit better prioritization there may have helped.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. I think I just like I'm not used to like pressing tab to like see people's items. If I saw it like this, I definitely would have like been like, yeah, she's the strongest one
Right.
out of this group.
So I think that's a pretty big thing, is making sure that we're actually checking our opponents and seeing are they threatening or not, because a good example, I guess, would say like this Magnus, right? If we see his build, he's not a threat. There's nothing about this build that's threatening, because we already know he's literally just playing the Bat Magnus build. It looks to third-party kills, it doesn't die easily, so it's not worth time commitment. But if this was Amp Magnus, right, and it had Scotty and Glacials, it's a whole different story. That's a threatening person, because if he gets a wall stun on you, he can 100 to 0 you.
Yeah.
So making sure we're actually checking that and understanding who we're playing against and how much we have to respect them, I think is a big step forward for your gameplay.
Yeah, I agree. And I have a question with like when I
Yeah.
was engaging that Leon, you said, or not you said, but like I had wick buff, so obviously like, I want to fight. But obviously like it got really dicey there. Like I could have easily gone third partied if like they
Yeah.
just decided to kill me. Like I was pretty much dead there, but like the Magnus kind of backed off and let me live. Should I go for kills even if like should I have gone for that kill, or should I just like backed off and just play passive with the third party?
I'll be honest, there definitely was a period that I think if your opponents had played correctly, you die no matter what there. But I'm not going to say that it was like a bad idea. I'll pull up the VOD really quickly and we'll look over it. Because I do want to go over the Leon fight really fast. Because you're so much better than most of the people who come in per coach, you can actually take some time to look over mechanical depth like this. Whereas with newer players, this I think would just be calling a little too much. Because with a new player, I have to say like, hey, you need to make sure that you're not like picking up every piece of food you see. You know, with you, you've got the basics. You know how to play the game, so we need to focus more on in-depth mechanical. All right, so I've got it pulled up here.
Okay, yeah, I'm on the stream.
So Leon's coming in. Already know that we're going to see him when he comes out of this bush, so you're fine to sit here. You descale correctly once you see him. He knows you're here. But he's basically whiffed at this point, right? He's missed his cue.
Yeah.
And I feel like, let's look back a little bit, right? Because we saw the Leon, and we know he's coming over, but did we ever check to see his items? And I think I know the answer, but I would just want to take a second. So we see him on the map. The first thing you should do at this point is just see his build, right? Just hit tab.
Yeah,
see if he's made any major upgrades, so we can know a little bit more about if we fight him. Because at this point, the only thing you might know is that he's got 4 kills because he has a banner above his name. You get the half combo. You could have looked at the top left at this point, but you're fighting. I don't expect you to. So he's stacked, but he takes half HP here. He's already wasted his Q, but you walk onto the puddle. And this is a very dangerous mistake here because he's lined up to get a stun with his ultimate, which is exactly why this fight goes so bad for you. And this is kind of what I've meant about that baiting mentality, because he's almost doing the same thing. He starts walking off, but he still knows you're in threat range. And I think you had to respect the puddle. You could have still E'd him, but make sure you don't step on that water. Because here, he just immediately puddles onto you, he lands his combo, and then he ults you. He misses the wall, though, and I think that's the only reason you lived.
Yeah, I agree. I like definitely underestimated him because he like just threw his Q in like random direction, and I like did so much damage to him. So like, okay, I can just chase him down and kill him. Right. Then he could have just like under zeroed me.
So I think all this is kind of fine. You're much more respectful of him at this point. You're not stepping onto his puddles. You try to kill camera, but he starts wrapping around the side, and it gets a little dicey. You know, I don't mind the back off. I think it would be nice. You make so many cameras. I think it'd be nice if you could make a set of recon drones as well. Because if we could get vision in that bush, you can approach it a little more safely, and you don't have to get as close as cameras.
Is recon drones how do you make
gunpowder with camera?
Oh, okay.
And then if you have a battery, you can upgrade it to EMP drones, which are good against people. Like if you know there's an ISIL in your final zone. But recon drones, I think, are enough. You know, I'd like to have a stack of normal cameras and then like a little bit of set of recon drones. But I'm also really bad at managing my cameras, so you'll see me not even have that sometimes.
Yeah, definitely like make more stuff. I just kind of just sit on regular cameras most of the time.
Right. So at this point, he doesn't have ultimate. I feel like you're healing up because you've eaten good food. At this point, you do walk up, and I feel like we land a lucky Q. But even if we don't land that Q, I want to say that I would have liked you to have continued to pressure here because you're basically full HP. He's still like 2/3, and he doesn't have ult. So we do land the Q, which does let you go in. He misses Z at this point, which is your go ahead to go all in. You do that fine. You land your ultimate. You secure this kill perfectly. But now we're half HP. There's a Magnus to your left, and there's a Yuki to your right.
Oh god. Yeah.
The Yuki misses, or I guess it was Yuki to the left and Magnus to the right. The Yuki misses. He does land the ult. This is the point where I figured you're just dead, because if Magnus walks down and pins you off here, there's nothing you can do. If you walk up, Yuki kills you. If you keep walking to the left, Magnus wall stuns you and you die.
Yeah.
So this is the point where your opponent's kind of misplayed, but you do land the fear on Yuki, which is perfect. You needed this kind of situation to survive, so you do find your out. Oh, maybe not. And then, yeah, you're good from here. The rest of these fights, I think, are pretty much fine. The Leon one was definitely just, like, respecting our opponent. You know, if you don't know what items they have, you don't know how much respect you need to give, and that's a big deal. We know Magnus went down. Yuki still seems to be there. I like that you rested. I was actually going to mention it if you didn't. Because we want to make sure that we're healed up, but we don't want to use all this food, which is actually why I mentioned at this point that I wanted to check Leon's body, because I think you don't actually have enough food to finish out this game if you had to fight everyone.
Yeah.
But we see the Yuki, and that takes priority, you know? Because if we kill Yuki, we take his food, you know? He fucks up his D skill. I don't know how much it matters, but he does do a good bit to you here. I feel like he dies regardless as long as you play this well, and he has fucking food for the world. Literally ends world hunger on one body.
Yeah,
You have very good maps awareness, though, I will say, because you knew that Aya was on the body, and you did D skill like in a good enough time to actually catch her.
I feel like I usually die to dual sword Yuki, except in like ranked when they actually have like proper mastery weapon skill.
Right. So we come down here, we land the Q on her, she wants to go into that zone. This is the point where it's like, you push up, you know, you start autoing the Magnus, just auto the Aya instead. She's much more threatening. She's already got the wall stun, you two will literally just kill her out. I don't understand why the Magnus didn't bat skill here. Like, he could have full comboed her, and then y'all literally could have killed her, and then it's just you on him. And he probably ults to take the kill because low player mentality. Or, honestly, I don't even think that's actually a bad decision. So that's wrong of me to say. I think the Magnus should ult to take the kill every time in that situation, because he's playing for second, you know?
Yeah.
So ideally, that's how that plays out. Magnus gets the stun, does bat skill, you continue to DPS her down. He gets the kill because his ultimate is the best kill steal in the fucking game. You can't outsmite that, right? And then you just kill Magnus because he doesn't have ult. He can't peel you over.
Yeah.
But we focus the Magnus instead, which is fine. You know, we do get the kill at the end of the day. Q doesn't quite get it, but you do, Ian, get the kill. And at this point, I feel like we eat a bunch of W. And I understand you want to go in for the kill, but like, look how much damage she's already done to you in that short little second while you're channeling ult. So I feel like while we're channeling ult, you do want to stay in range to make sure you're actually laying the charms. But Aya W is the most threatening part of her ability, and because she's not pistol, she can't get that cooldown reset, you know? So she lands, I think, around 4 shots. And then she starts kiting back. She's waiting for her W cooldown. She's waiting for her Q cooldown. But I think you're being mindful of timer here, right? You have less timer than is remaining, so you wanted to kind of wait that out.
Yeah.
God, what is this face? We let her get a Q, which is bad. We don't want her to poke on us. So going to the bush is correct here because we want to force her to have the W, and then we can sidestep that, get some extra damage like you did here. You missed the W, but it's fine. So this last bit, I think, is perfect. But I think when we were kind of sitting here, I think this is a little bit of a mistake because we have camera vision anyways. I think sitting in the bush and forcing her to have to either commit a resource like a camera, which, whatever, you can't stop that. But if she doesn't have camera, she has to check the bush with W. That's ideal because we can just sidestep W and there goes all her damage.
I was like so certain she was gonna go to the bush and sit and heal, but she kind of just like fought me instead.
If she does, I understand, but if she does go to the bush and heal, I don't think it matters too much because we should be full HP by that point anyways, right? You are ticking food. If she sits and heals, it's going to take at least 5 seconds. Your food will basically top you off by that point anyways because you're healing for 50 a tick, plus about 4 HP regen. So I don't feel bad if she does. It does mean she'll have her ultimate back at that point, though. So that was actually really so that would have been something to keep in mind if she does come back, right? Her ult cooldown is around, like, I think 50 seconds. But yeah, those are the big things. I think that should have been done differently. We need to work on our priorities late game for, like, who are we targeting, which is always situational. It's never static, right? There will be situations where chasing the Magnus is the correct move. And there are situations like there where I think killing the Aya is the correct move. So you just have to keep in mind that. Make sure you're playing flexibly enough and then focusing there.
Okay.
And then checking people's builds because I think you're doing the same thing that I harp on a lot of Yuki and Razi players. I have a meme that I like to say where it's like, I don't know who you are. I don't know who's ahead, but I'm going in. Almost like Taken. That's how I feel like Razi's and Yuki's play. They don't check who their opponent is. They go in every time because they're so used to just steamrolling people and winning or getting out for free. And I feel like you're kind of making that same mistake, just not as bad, you know?
Yeah.
you don't like all in. You don't throw your E just going in on whoever you see. You do kind of poke it out and see if they're going to play it correctly, and then assess from there. Let's just take that a step further and make sure we're taking their build into account. Because in ranked games, we've been seeing it a lot lately where like people aren't finishing their builds because certain zones are being stripped of resources by day one. So there are going to be a lot of situations coming in this next day or two where you actually will see people just not have their shit. And if you can make that like foresight early, right? You see them and you're like, hey, this Razi doesn't have her chest piece or her arm piece. I'm full build. You can just immediately take that fight as long as you play it well.
Yeah, I agree. And so I guess like the main takeaway is like pressing tab, seeing what people have. And then you also were talking about like what items I should transition to. And I want to like test that out. So like, what did you say exactly?
Go into practice mode. So like, yeah, so we can just hop in practice mode. It takes fucking forever now. Have you used practice mode at all?
I use it like once or twice, just like mess around and see what it's like.
Right, so we can spawn in a dummy, which I'm sure you know. I would recommend setting its defense to 110. And then test two metrics. I want you to check burst, and then I want you to check DPS, right? And decide which one you value more, because there's going to be differences. If you have crit, your DPS is obviously going to be higher. If you have higher AP, your burst may be higher. There are situations where your crit can out DPS or can outburst AP, but it's RNG, right? So
yeah.
And then decide which one you like more. Now that's just DPS factors, so make sure you're looking at your armor score and your MS as well, because a lot of the things you're going to be testing are mithril. And then just make a decision just based on that, what you think is best. Because you may really like upgrading to Fail Not. The only real thing we get out of Fail Not is I think you get healing reduction, right? And lifesteal.
To be honest, I'm not even sure. No, you don't get healing reduction. I just build it because it has more attack power. I don't know. Yeah. I just feel stronger, I guess. And the 20% lifesteal helps out a lot.
Yeah, no, it actually does help. I don't think Fail Not's bad. I'm just saying Gunby could be better, and if we never check, we'll never know.
Yeah, that is true.
So it's like, maybe test around, see if Gunby's better. Maybe you like Opera Mask. Maybe Imperial Halo actually is really good on you because your playstyle is more poke orientated, right? You throw Qs, you land an auto, you don't go all in. Opera Mask and Crown Tiara could be best for that. So just make sure we're checking that. You know, you have to get item function. You can just throw everything on. And make sure we're checking, because you'd like Fail Not for the attack power. It does have good attack speed too. Keep that in mind. It has like 30% at max level. But ERCI could be good, you know? So it's like, I would say test different combinations of Fail Not with a Force Core item, and then ERCI with a VF Blood item, whether it be Gunby or VF Blood Mask, that's up to you. Because ideally we'll end up around the same stats, I think, with just slightly different variations. You know, like if we're doing VF Blood Mask, we'll have an extra passive, you know, but we'll have more movement speed than if we did Fail Not with like Tiara. But if we're doing Tiara, we'll have more defense. So, do you have any other questions? Now's the best time to ask.
I guess there's like a point where, so I went to Temple, then I went to Alley, and then the hospital. I feel like that was like a pretty solid route.
Yeah.
Because like the wolves came up and whatnot. So I'm not too worried about that, but I think that the one part is like, at what point do I make like these cameras and these like recon drones? Because like I never have them.
Kinda as you go through it. So like just keep in mind, like I would never say go specifically out of your way to craft a bunch of green cameras or recon drones, but like you eventually pass through those zones, you know? Like you left docks and you had binos, I think, when you left docks, and then you go to Sim at some point and there's gunpowder there. So just keep in mind where those pieces are to upgrade your cameras, and make sure you're killing bats to keep your camera stock up, which you're doing. So
okay, so it's Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's just one of those things where it's like, do it eventually. Don't feel like you have to go out of your way for it. Getting kills and making sure you're farming properly are priority. And then I think you have, like, don't feel like you have to go to, like, in those rotations. Of course, if you like it, then stick with it. But you actually had a very good insight when you said, I want to go to hospital because wolves are up. Because you're correct. Wolves will be spawning back around 6 minutes to 7 minutes. And it's also likely you're going to see people there because of that, you know? Hotel's the same concept, so it's archery range. Though with archery range, I think it's more often that wolves are up from 7 to 8, or even 8 to 9, because people don't normally kill wolves on spawn unless there's a Nadine in the game. People will normally kill wolves as their second rotation going to archery range at night 1.
Why is that?
Why? It's just when people go there. No one normally goes to archery range day 1 except Bleed or Jackie, which has kind of fallen out of popularity. And then people will normally do it as like a second rotation if they start their animal rotation at hotel or at what's it called, alley, because it's close to those locations and it's kind of small, so it's like you can go through it really quickly.
Okay.
And there's normally there's nothing there, you know, except for materials to craft equipment. You know, you can't really go there for food, you can't go there for stamina, so there's no other reason to go there late game other than RNG transitions or wolves.
Okay, I see. I had like probably one more question.
Yeah, I mean, as many as you want.
I think this is like the only one I can think of. So a lot of times in ranked, like people will have like a million traps basically. I feel like traps are too complex to like kind of just get it along the way, like your routing. I feel like people have to go out of their way to build traps.
Yes.
Is that something that I should be like doing too?
Personally, I don't give a fuck about traps. I don't build them at all. I don't think they're needed. But I think you have to go one of two ways with it. You either have to prepare for traps or prepare to play against traps. You know? So it's like, if you can, and if you wanted to, I would say just know what traps you want to make. And see if you can fit them into your routing. So I know a lot of people, for instance, like to do fire traps, or double gilos, or claymores, right? Or C4. Like, one of these 4 are normally what people do. Some people like to do smart bombs. I say fuck it and just leave that for if you get lucky and get a camera or a cell phone off a bear, then you can maybe do smart bombs. So keep that in mind too, right? Maybe you're doing bears early. If you get a cell phone off of one early, like first bears at Temple, you could find a set of locations where like you can just make smart bombs quickly, because this could be 2 zones at minimum, right? You could go to cemetery, pick up gunpowder, go to hotel, make your RDX, and then you have smart bombs.
Yeah, that is true. Never thought about that actually.
But outside of that, just keep in mind, if you're not going to do traps, I think it's a great idea to have EMP drones. But don't feel terrible if you don't. You are a ranged character. They're not so detrimental to you, so as long as you have telephotos or recon drones. You are going to run into situations where your opponent may slam down like a massive amount of traps and you're kind of fucked because of it. But more than likely that person is drastically ahead anyways, and the traps are more so like the nail in the coffin than anything else, you know?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I usually just like have cameras, and people putting on traps, I'll just use the cameras to kill the traps. And so I'm like, well, why would I build traps if like you can just destroy them?
Right.
But I'm not sure if like there's like this next level where
traps are insanely helpful for fighting melee characters, especially if they're root-based traps like double galos, and I think claymores as well. Yeah, the claymore stun. So it's like these are really good against melees because they have to step into them to set them off. Specifically double galos, right? And to clear them, they have to get close as well. So like you can basically use them as a way to make the melee have to take a little bit of poke damage.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
They do clear them faster though, obviously, right? It takes 2 autos for a melee to kill a trap. It takes 5 for ranged, I think. Or 4?
Oh.
Can't remember, but it's a lot. It's 5 or 4. It gets changed around, and I never remember at that point. But yeah, so with traps, just keep that in mind. 4. Okay, yeah, it's 4 for ranged. If you wanted to, double kilos can be done in 2 zones. It can be done in temple. Wait, no, it can't be done in temple anymore. Fuck. Double kilos can't be done in 2 zones anymore. Wow.
They can?
Oh, no, yeah, it can. You get damn near everything at fucking pond, and then you just need rusty sword from somewhere. So, like, let's say you decided you wanted to start making double guillotines regularly. Make sure that you bring a rusty sword with you when you leave docks, because you're leaving there with almost a full empty inventory anyways. And then you can go pond and do the bears in pond, and you can pick up everything from there, make a set of double kilos, and kind of just put them in the back of your inventory for late game.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
It'll also help give a slight level advantage, because if you make 2 sets of double guillotines, it should get you up to around level 6 or 7 trap mastery, which should help give you a level. But don't focus on that aspect of it. It's just an extra upside, you know? That won't end games for you, you know?
Yeah. So I guess like the most important thing is like looking at people's inventory, or I guess what they have on tab. What would you say like the second most important thing is? Because I kind of want to like focus on like one thing at a time.
The second thing is just making sure we're prioritizing the right people when. We didn't lose the game because we didn't kill the Aya, but I feel like if we were going to lose the game, that would be why, you know?
Yeah.
And then the same thing for the Leon. I do think we should have lost the game at some point there, right? I even pointed it out. And I think there was twice technically, because I do think the Leon by all rights should have killed you, but he fucked it up.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
That's the real big thing, is honestly just making sure we're aware of how strong our opponent is and that we need to respect them. Because I feel like what happened that game, and this happens every fucking game, right? For people like this. You got a huge lead, and you feel like you're on top of the world, and like no one can kill you. But Leon comes by, and that Leon was cracked. He got insane RNG that game in some way. Maybe he got both trees on his own. Maybe he fucking got him out of a chest for all we know. But dude had double glacials. He's nuts at that point. So it's like he's just as strong as you. He just doesn't have Wick Align.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And they kind of go hand in hand, because if we're not checking our opponent's builds, we won't know who to prioritize, and we won't know who to respect. So it's almost the same advice.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's like all I have question-wise. But I think that's like I learned a lot from just this like one session so far.
I mean, you're more than welcome to sign up for multiples. I think you have a very good foundation. I actually do think you're pretty good. Your mechanics are really good, so I would assume you came from League or Dota.
Yeah, I came from League.
Yeah, and you're very good about checking the map. Like I said, you did notice when the Aya stepped over. You noticed when the Leon was coming in. Just we need to teach you to fear God, basically. You know?
Yeah.
That's all.
Like once I get a couple of kills and then like I see I chunk someone, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a free kill, and then they just like jump on me and under zero me because I have like no HP.
Right, and you'll run into problems like this all the time, where like just because your opponent's low does not mean they're dead. This is how I've basically branded myself as an Eternal Return player, is I'll get myself to half HP somehow because I step in the wrong direction, and then I just tell my opponent to follow me down a dark corridor, and eventually they'll either lose interest or I'm going to walk them into a place that's not favorable for them anymore, you know?
Yeah, so that definitely happens a lot.
Just make sure you're being mindful of that. Just because your opponent's low doesn't mean that they're out of the game. So like for instance with Magnus, even if he's basically dead, you should still respect the wallstone a little bit, because if the wallstone doesn't kill you, it buys him time to at least keep walking away, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then same for Kyunwoo. Don't let him wallstone you. You know?
Definitely. So, I think playing more ranked will like definitely help with that, because like in normals that doesn't happen. Like I usually can just win just from having better stats.
Right.
And then once I started playing ranked, like, man, I'm getting destroyed a lot.
Yeah, it's a much more fair game. But yeah, I appreciate the time, man, and I think you did pretty well. Next time we see you, I imagine you'll be a lot better at this, and I don't think I could give you like great insight on what else to improve on, but I mean, if you want to sign up, I can try to find something.
I mean, definitely. Like, I'll work to improve and like pretty much try to build in like checking people's items and doing everything you said. I
On
feel
another
like
end on that, I also do like if you wanted to do VOD reviews and you feel like there was a specific game or something, I do that as well, and that could be a little bit more helpful because then I can see a game where maybe you really struggled, you know?
yeah, I think that'd be pretty good too because I was like a bit nervous. That's why like I made the mask by accident. Usually like I never do that,
Right.
or like I've done that before, but when I started playing, but now I'm like a lot more mindful. But then I was just like, oh shoot, I'm being watched. So I just kind of just like built by accident.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate having you, and I'll catch you around. I think you watch
Yeah.
Gunner's stream, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I thought you
I
were
do.
familiar from somewhere.
Oh, I kind of watch like a couple of streams from now and then, like whoever's on, you know.
No, I gotcha. Everyone but me, Sag. It's fun, man. But yeah, I'll catch you next time, and we're pretty much done here.
Okay, yeah, thanks. That helped a lot.
See you around.